This is Pattern Practice.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to use. Let me close my...
What's up, Four Eyes?
So, my vision is pretty dang good. It's pretty dang good. I don't wear glasses usually. But a while ago I got my eyes checked and they're like, "Oh, here are your, you should wear these." And I haven't, whatever. My left eye without the glasses, it's a little blurry, little blur. And if I do if I squint a little bit, totally fine. But like, what do you do? You can't be squinting. You can't be squinting. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I noticed I was working and I noticed I was coding like this. And I'm like, okay, that's stupid. You're stupid. Put the goddamn glasses on, and my face felt strange because I wasn't straining. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's probably bad for me. And I've been putting it off because I have it in mind that I'm like if I don't wear glasses, my vision will be better or whatever. And I talked to Claude about it, and Claude's like, no, you're hurting your eyes if you don't wear your glasses. You should wear your glasses. And I was like, fuck, okay, so okay, Claude, I'll wear them. I'll wear them. That's fine.
So
and it's been fantastic, and I've been getting a lot more work done because now I guess I'm not straining and my eyes don't hurt.
So you said, but you started by saying I have pretty dang good vision, but you have a prescription for glasses?
Yeah. I went to get my eyes checked because my left eye is a tiny bit blurry for small text. And so they're like, here's a little bit, and then here's a little bit. And it's nearly the least glasses you could qualify for, but it's not zero.
I see. Okay. Well, hey, they look good.
Surprised it took this long, honestly, with the amount I stare at screens.
I'm waiting. It's got to come, right? I mean, otherwise, or is it a lie? I mean, I guess not. Do you know? Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you be like you were saying? Wouldn't I be kind of leaning in and squinting at my screen?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you know. Well, I mean, how often are you I guess you're probably typing content a lot, but you look at your fingers when you type.
A lot of my time in Slack, but yeah, I mean that's
Slack.
Typing
okay,
and reading.
No, I mean you're interacting with that because I'm coding because I'm fucking doing my coding.
Right.
Yeah, so that's fun. I forgot to check my whiteboard before we did this because remember we had pitched oh let's do a video podcast in the new year, and your background's looking pretty lit there, bud.
Getting there. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling fine. It's clean enough. I mean,
I'm just saying, if we don't do a video episode today, it's because you didn't want to. That's what I'm going for here today. Wow, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, so you have until the end of the episode to decide what kind of person you are.
Okay.
So, so I have glasses. Alex of Book Club gave me his friends and family ChatGPT Pro 01 for a year. So that was more than I probably deserve. He's like, hey, I've got these things. And I'm like, may I have one? And he's like, sure, what do you want? And I'm like, the most. What do you mean, which one do I want? Give me the most. I want the most you can give me, please. And he was like, okay.
Oh my God.
He's like, but you got to cancel first. So what this is unlimited maximum everything, like the reasoning model, Sora, which is the video. I want to bring voice mode onto the pod. I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. I think that'd be fun. I don't think that breaks the rules to bring voice mode onto the podcast as a guest for a sec. I wasn't ready today. So far, I gotta say, I have found the voice mode to be the most interesting, useful part. I use the shit out of the plus web search mode because I'm scour the internet for this fact, and it brings it back to me, and I've been using that to rip through configurations and stuff. We'll talk about that in a sec. I've finally found a way to scratch my home lab itch. That's a separate topic. But I did want to get into...
hang out and have conversations with it and walk around
Yes.
Just living your life, kind of doing your thing,
Well,
but also at the same time having a bit of a discussion about a thing.
well, I've done that 2 times, and the way I used it, and this is what I wanted to share that I thought was interesting. So you'll recall a while ago, I shared an idea I had for a science fiction story, novel, whatever. Um, the black hole, the concepts are black holes dilate time, and if you go to the black hole, your time is slower than their time, and it has like the implications of like I could tell you to do something and you and your grandkids could work on it and get back to me and I wouldn't be dead yet. All
Yeah,
right.
right.
And there's a whole bunch of implications for that, and you come up with other cute ideas. And so what I did was wife's like, go fix your garden box, right? Go fix my garden box. It needed some like repair. Like I put the hinges in the wrong spot. Doesn't matter. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pop voice mode in, background mode, stuff it into my pocket, and workshop this book with the idea that, and I knew this in advance, but with the idea that I should just be able to say every idea I have, and it should be able to compile the book for me. Maybe not outright necessarily, though it certainly could, but like I should be able to be like, let's workshop some stuff out. Tell me all the stuff I said, you know, condense it into the pile of concepts. And so what I wound up doing is I was like, hey, you know, here's a concept, here's a concept, here's a concept, idea, plot narrative. Keep in mind the South Park creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, but so methodology of as well story worthy fame. Your scene shouldn't be this and this and this. It should be this, but this, therefore that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just feeding it all the stuff that I want, and I'm like, okay, read me chapter 1 as a storyboard, because I didn't tell it what I wanted for chapter 1. I was just like, given these ideas, read chapter 1 to me as a storyboard. It was awesome.
Man,
And dude, and
that's
I
incredible.
interrupted it. I'm like, no. Don't have him find out till later. Make him do this. Say it to me again. And it read me the storyboard again. He's like, but then he doesn't find out till later. And I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. And then I was like, oh, and then I want him to have like the like, for example, the thing I worked out that like is concrete of the book you might find interesting is I was like, oh, the plot should be something like, these people have solved faster than light travel, but not how to, live longer than a normal human lifetime. Like there's other, and they haven't solved unlimited energy, but they can get places fast. And so, they go to the black hole to like try to learn more and unlock more energy or whatever. And this one organization wants to, fix their energy system sustainably. And this organization's, they're being weird. They want to use the black hole or something. But in secret, they have this plan to like take over causality, and like chairs just start falling over. And you, learn later that they're actually, going to have you seen Don't Look Up?
Yes. Yep.
I wanted it to end like that, where everybody dies.
Right. Right. A bad ending. Yeah.
A bad ending where everyone just dies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
No sequel.
not bad. Like it's not entertaining, but
Bad for
like
the
bad
bad
as
for the
in
people in the story.
not a happy ending.
No,
Yeah. A
no,
sad
no.
ending.
No, the
Or a
movie,
tragic
spoiler
ending.
alert, everybody just dies. They just die.
Yeah.
Everyone dies.
Right. Well, I mean,
Even the people
Romeo
that
and
got away,
Juliet.
everyone
You
dies.
know what I mean? Everybody
No,
loves Romeo and
everyone
Juliet, and
dies.
that's a tragic ending.
Everybody dies.
But
You
imagine
wouldn't
if
even be
like they
like,
died of the
oh,
plague
like,
and then everybody else
I
died.
wouldn't have
That'd be
I wouldn't have done those things. I'd be fine. No, you're also dead. I broke the universe.
right. That's
People
pretty
that
cool.
weren't even listening to my story, dead.
So, do you think that like if I at any time, were to like approach something like a ChatGPT tool and be like, "Yo, go write the best sci-fi book ever." It's going to not do as well as if like a human works with it, to refine through kind of like phases. I mean, what if like it wrote the book, right? You know how like used to say, I'd tell it like, oh no, make it impossibly clever, right? Like what if it wrote the book and I was like, no, make it better, but like I never gave it any input other than just do better, just do fucking better, write a better book, do you think it would ultimately come up with a better product than if I actually tried to put my thoughts and feelings, and maybe not me, right? Maybe I would suck at writing a book, but do you think that over time, this is a like, are the robots going to replace us
Right,
question,
right.
obviously, but what do you think?
No,
I
interesting.
think I've said enough for you to engage with it. Maybe, what do you
Yeah,
think?
no, I mean it's an interesting question. So, my mind goes to, you say better, and it's like, yeah, it probably knows how stories work. It could probably draw upon every book ever written that it's ripped.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think though that you would find a couple in today's technology, at least, a couple limitations. One, you're going to wind up getting a generic pattern that it corners into because like its distribution of stuff is going to lend it into, like when I was playing with stories a while ago, it always wants there to be some bright light and a thing you enter into. Like there's certain tropes it's going to gravitate toward by default. Now you could say incorporate, let's start from here and then boom, maybe it's unique. In today's system, I think that uh, if you were like, okay, write chapter one, it's not going to be as good. By the way, if you had rather been like, okay, let's be iterative about this. Keep in mind the concept of good storytelling, but so keep in mind, this methodology. Keep in mind, these things of structure that I deem to be a quality book. It might not necessarily follow, and then you could be like, okay, you know, let's work backwards. What's the full arc, and then we'll fill it in. Like you'd kind of have to orchestrate it today. I could probably build a system that automates that orchestration, but today, January 27th, today, I do think a human is going to do a better job if they have the talent for it. But I think it's way easier to do it without it. I just Have you heard the term AI slop? Yeah, it would be AI slop. It would be okay. I think it would be AI slop. I would not read a book written by an AI. Maybe yet. Like when it's better or whatever. Maybe I'd be like, oh, this thing writes killer stories. Like great, I'll read it. But like, I wish there was a way to filter any AI generated like YouTube videos,
Yeah.
like narrate it, like get that shit out of my face. And it's probably a technology quality limitation of today. I don't think it's a permanent thing. Don't
Okay.
throw it in my face 5 years from
Sure.
now when I tell
Yeah.
you I
Yeah.
love AIbook.com. Okay.
Right. Question. Follow up question. You say like, I wish I could filter out AI generated content. Where do you, where would you maybe kind of draw the line as to what is AI generated? Because, um, what if you were like really heavily involved and you used AI to like create something, but it's not like you let it just go do the whole job for you. And I ask because in my case, I've seen, um, and I don't know if this is still the case or if it's gotten better yet, but it certainly scared me off of using any of these features. I know if you're in Lightroom, there's like a find and like you used to. There's little eraser tools and stuff like that, right? Like to try to get rid of stuff in images. Well, now there's like AI assisted eraser tools, which it basically does like a better job. Instead of it selecting a random sample that looks similar in pixels from it and kind of replacing with that, which is more of like kind of a cloning tool, it like looks at everything in the picture and thinks like what's the most likely thing to go in this spot if not this thing that you just highlight. Like it's a little smarter. You could use it to like significantly alter an image just like you could use the old tools, or you could do some subtle things to it to make the image better. But regardless, Instagram was flagging everything as AI slop basically, right? It was like this is fucking AI and it would flag it. And so if you look, it didn't like delete the content, it would just put a big badge on your content that was like this
AI
is
slop
AI
badge.
content.
Hell yeah,
Exactly.
dude. That's what's up.
Exactly.
Good.
But I genuinely, I was seeing it happen to people that I had followed for a long time. And I'm like, I know that they're, not trying to fake their craft or whatever. They're just using the latest technology to refine their work, at the end. And I wonder where you might draw the line. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let my dog out while you start to answer.
Yeah, I hear it. And I think I saw the bud, so I'll keep talking slash by the end of my, you know, statement of my plan, you'll be back anyway. Um, I so I think so. There's I guess two things that come to mind. Number one, I try to use language models as a means of transformation as much as I can, more than a means of creation. I'll be like, instead of, oh, write this code, I'll be like, okay, here is the entire documentation for using this library. Paste. Don't come up with your own thing. Transform this documentation into valid code with these parameters, and it's successful and valid. And I wouldn't conclude that to be as sloppy. It is still AI, but it's not as sloppy. For the book approach, I would probably myself, like, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to direct the exact storyboard or whatever. No, as I'm talking about this, I think that creators should use it to fill gaps they are either uncomfortable overcoming or disinterested in fulfilling. Like, I'm gonna be like, okay, make a description for this guy. I don't even care about people's names when I talk to them, so like, it's not in me to describe to you what Jack, Masters or whatever looks like in my book. Okay, like, I might come up with a name even, but even then, like, I don't care. Like, those details aren't interesting to me. This will be my creation.
Generate a
Um,
rando for me. Like, just
and you know what?
give me a rando
You
for
know
my
what?
story.
Maybe I'll disclaim. I'll be like, listen, I didn't come up with the names. Okay, I didn't come up with what they look like. I didn't come up with how abused they were as children. Okay, that was all the AI. Okay, I did come up with the concepts and the whatever. Listen, it was me. It was me. And ChatGPT said, "Here's the chat." ChatGPT said that I didn't have to share the revenue with it, right here
Yeah,
at the bottom. So I am taking all the
that's a
money,
lot of extra steps.
but I did get it. Well, I'll
I
make ChatGPT do
I guess,
it.
yeah, true. And I guess with the step savings you're already getting, it might be worth it.
Well,
But
I'm in
where do
in
you
the
draw the
creation
line,
process.
right? If it
I'm
comes to like
probably
if you're
go ahead, go
advocating
ahead.
for a filter, if you're advocating for a filter, at what point would your story be filtered out?
Um, I would filter out someone doing this to a book they wrote. I think I would tolerate the level that I'm going to probably utilize. I'd be like I, for the same reason I don't care about the people's names or what they look like. Well, I won't care if those are generated. You know, like, it's a formality to consume the media that you know what they look like and what their name is. To me, in my opinion, and I'm not, forcing goggles on people or whatever. I just I don't definitely here. Let's just start at the top and find the line. Whole cloth. I don't want it. Just don't even. That shouldn't even appear to me. I shouldn't even decline it. It should be invisible from my perception. If it's whole cloth AI, I don't want to see it. Don't even show it to me. Um, and I mean, there's, if you came up with the story, great. Uh, don't spend a page describing the room if you didn't write the room. Okay, if you weren't passionate about it, don't burn that much time on it for me. Okay,
So what it sounds like almost is you're kind of advocating for a certain percentage,
maybe.
almost like how they handle copyright, right? Isn't it something like, and I don't know what copyright law is, but like if it's like all music or a lot of music sounds like a lot of other music. I think that's common knowledge. How does one music how does one song not violate copyright for another song? And I think it boils down to some form of like uniqueness or percentage of uniqueness. And maybe I imagine, I've always taken for granted that AI will just detect what is AI generated. So like we'll have tools that'll be able to tell us this is X% AI generated. And yeah, I still am not sure. If you have this thing, unless you're actually typing with your fingers, which I don't even see why you would do that, right? Like you can just
I'm
have a
not
voice
voice.
word
Yeah,
processor. Yeah. So even then, like, how do I detect what percent of it is the AI and what percent of it is you? Do I use the portion of your do I use this is all of Joe's prompting? And so Joe had an adequate amount of prompting for this to be a valid human work rather than, AI slop.
Are you getting into law, or are you getting into personal taste? Because I was advocating for personal taste. Like I
I was
I don't feed me AI slop. Feed me your idea that you filled in. Like if you want to generate a movie and the video was whole cloth, but the concepts behind it to that end were just things you didn't have the you know artistic capacity to generate or whatever.
yeah.
Great, hell yeah.
Well,
Give me that movie.
yeah, but we weren't. I mean, I was talking about what you brought up, which was you wish that there existed a feature. And
Yeah,
I don't care about the law as much, but your personal preference certainly matters if you're going to build a feature like this. But if you really want a feature like that, I guess what I was saying is, how would you do it? Because the one example I've seen of a feature like that existing, where they slap the AI slap badge on your content, already I was like, oh shit, well, the line, they definitely made that bar really, really, really low from my perspective. And it's like, well, fuck, you in your example, I believe, would be way over that bar from what I experienced, from the one example I experienced, I guess. So my
yeah,
thought is like, you wish there existed a filter to help filter out the slop, but at the same time you're really excited about using the tool to generate your own content. And my challenge is like, how, if them, whoever created the feature that you wish existed, how would that not result in your content being, thrown out, baby with the bathwater kind of scenario?
right, right.
uh, and I just think
I
it's a
yeah, no,
challenge. I don't expect you to
it's
be
fair.
like,
It's fair.
well,
No, it's fair.
obviously this
No,
is
I
this is
no, I
the
haven't.
answer, but it's a
I
challenge,
have
and
not
we don't have to
solved AI
spend the rest of
generated
our 6
content
minutes
filtering.
talking about it. You haven't
I
figured
haven't.
it out yet?
I
Well, get
have
back to
till
me.
4:30. By the way, are you at a hard stop at 4?
No, I can hang.
I was gonna say these events. I know they're 30, but I can do till 4:30.
Nice.
But otherwise, I wouldn't have burned the whole time on talking about my
Yeah, no,
AI
we're good.
slap. I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about it more. It's like, yeah, whole cloth. I'm feeling pretty confident. Whole cloth, where you're like, make something entertaining. Get that out of my face. If the whole damn thing is I could have done that. What? I don't need you for that. Gross. Just post your prompt. Uh, I maybe I would just want to be able to have an AI of my own that filtered out certain kinds of slop. Like, oh, you automated. There's an automatic Pinterest uh index generator to the end of siphoning off some affiliate links. I'm going to try to build one of those just because I think I should spend the time trying to build one. Um, that get it out of my face. It's just such a waste, such a
Setting
waste.
your own personal thresholds is a really cool idea.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
I think setting your own personal threat. Actually, I was even going to say. I mean, this was two. I think I'd like to roughly wrap this up shortly. Not that you can't have last word. But I had thought previously that if we are to be inundated with AI, right, with AI news, with AI, video and claims, just in the as a matter of keeping up with current events or whatever, that is going to be too much noise. You won't be able to even function. So what you need, I think, is effectively a periscope, an AI periscope to filter that noise, back into it being a, you know, personal, personalized filter. Not that you should put blinders on or whatever, but you can be like, use these principles and these verification methodologies that I conclude to be valid. I trust, these 6 people, anything they say and that they've cryptographically signed as their content, I can, conclude to be true because the words they say wind up being true every time. You know,
Right.
there's
I don't
there's
want to
got to be
make
some way.
I don't want to make the mistake of just calling all things AI. I feel like that happens, but there are. I guess what I'm going to say is like there are already algorithms that decide what content we see on most platforms, and they may or may not be AI powered. I guess is what I'm trying to say, but they certainly will be, and if they're not already. And I think you're right. Like you have infinite AI generated or AI assisted content. And so we only have that much more stuff that we could look at. And so we need a tool to help us curate that. We need our own personal curator to help us kind of decide what we're going to look at. What's maybe interesting about that to me that you said is like, I talked about you should be able to set a threshold, or you were saying that it's like, how much influence do we have over that curation? Like, I know on some apps I'm able to say like, show me less of this stuff, and it's almost like I'm giving sort of manual inputs to the algorithm that it can take into account. But ultimately, I don't know if anybody is really satisfied on any popular social media platform with the level of influence they have over the algorithm that shows them content. Some people joke, they're like, oh man, I've really trained the algorithm perfectly, when they're like, they see some weird obscure thing that shows up that of course they're deeply interested in, but it's kind of weird or fucked up. And it's like, oh wow, I've really honed this thing to a perfect point. But anyway, just that's maybe, if anything, my last thought is like, I too want a super powerful curator, but I also hope that it's not someone else getting to fully decide like what that curation is for me. I hope to be able to have pretty good control. I don't want to control all of it. There is the sort of benefit of like the old like Pandora radio kind of situation where you discover new things that you weren't necessarily looking for, but that were worth discovering, worth your time. So there's got to be, I think, some external influence to help you. But anyway, yeah, I'm not a algorithmologist, or whatever.
I gotta say, if it, there's gonna be, services you can subscribe to, surely there's also gonna be services you can self-host. Segue. Have been on an absolute tear with self-hosting. Just trying to think of how to do this without just thinking out loud. Like, I want to talk to you. I don't want to just think out loud in front of you.
Do you have a server?
So my gaming machine is Eric's old machine, and then I slapped a 3090 in there, right? Beast machine. It's awesome, right? And so, you've been online where I'm like, oh, hold on, guys, let me boot back into Windows so I can play games with you guys. Well, that's me shutting down all of the stuff I'm running, like language model stuff and whatever other server that I'm experimenting with, whatever, shutting it down, booting into Windows, playing some games, and then I shut it down and bring it all back up. And so I was playing with it, and I devised what I thought was a clever way of managing the workloads in a way that finally felt organized. I was like, this is the way to do it. You have the router, and you have automatic SSL with HTTPS on your domain, and then all of your different things can just say what their own domain is, and it just works. It's great. You know what this really needs, though? It needs backups. It needs a way to deploy quickly. It needs a way to connect to the GitHub. That'd be great. And then I found out there's a product called Coolify, Coolify, that is that. Not only is it that, it was that in the way in which I was building it. It uses the same approach, and I was able to directly copy some of my configurations into the system. And it has been scratching just every itch. I have so much stuff running on that computer now. I have had to formally move it away from my gaming desk to be the server. Like, I don't game on that computer anymore. I'm gaming on the 3070 now. Okay. On my last generation gaming machine, that's where I game now. It never shuts off. It's always on. And I've got like 40 things running on it right now.
Man. Okay. What's like the power consumption of something like that?
The power consumption's like 30 watts because it's mostly idle.
Okay. So it's like less than
it's
leaving
just there
a light
when I
bulb
need
on
it
all day.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever I make a call, it's like 100-watt light bulb being on for like 30 seconds.
Oh my God. So why? So you have that, and you have that separately from your suite OpenAI product? Because why would you need to self-host if you have a suite?
I set this whole thing up, and I post on Twitter. I'm like, This is my pinned tweet, by the way. I'm like, 2025 New Year's resolution. I'm going to reach for my local language model before I hit any SaaS models. All right. Post.
And then you get
And
gifted the best.
and then a week later, he's like, "How would you like the industry leading system for a year? A year, by the
Yeah.
way, 1 year. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Well, why
have
don't
their
you
next
use it to help you
models, and
build a better personal system by the time it
I am.
ends?
I'm using the absolute
Right.
shit out of it because I'm like,
Right.
and I have unlimited access to it too. So I'm like, no, like seriously, go dig through and find the actual thing. And I'm like, are there things that do this? Are there things that do this? Does it use that? Does it go here? Read this whole page. And when I don't think it's reading the whole page, I copy the whole page um, and I have been tearing through it. I've got a whole authentication suite. I have one password for all the apps. It like, kicks me over. It's like when you log in with Google. I've got that, but I'm self-hosting it. I'm debating hosting my own email, but I think I can stop that urge. That's not a good idea.
Why would you want to do that?
Just to self-host, man. I shouldn't.
To be,
I
is it
shouldn't.
like your, is it like a, it's just like a self-reliance kind of flex?
Some of it is privacy. The stuff that I've actually done is its function. For example, there are uh so far 4 YouTube channels that I want to watch 100% of the videos from that channel, and I don't always catch it when it comes out. Where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put that video? Where's your to-do list? It turns into a whole mess for me at least. And so what I've got instead is I've got an RSS reader that YouTube apparently supports feeds, and they just pop up as unread. And I'm very careful not to turn that into a news aggregator I'll never use. I'm using it strictly for shit that I like desperately want to watch.
And it shows up in your email?
There's just an app that I can go to feed dot whatever my domain, and it, if it's there, it pops up. I think there's a way to do notifications. I haven't set them up yet.
Do you remember Google Inbox?
I do remember Google Inbox, and I remember you being real all about it.
Yeah, I was super into it. I still miss it. You just made me like kind of think of it because like I feel like half of my to-do listing comes from my email, and or at least like, and I can manage it in my email. Like I can snooze things. A lot of those old inbox features made their way over to Gmail, but I still can't very easily make new to-do list items in my inbox. And man, I miss that so bad. And to have like an automation set up, like that, where it's just I link it up, even if I had to use like if this then that or whatever to make it happen, it would really be dope to have a single to-do list that I'm always just inbox zeroing, like, either snooze it or do it or snooze it or kill it. Um, Man, that was the life, dude. And now I still have everything sitting on my calendar, but it's not as good as if it showed up in like in my inbox.
Ugh.
Oh God! Even if they took Google Tasks today and just had a way of showing your Google Tasks in your inbox for the day or something. Anyway, there are different things I would take. I'd tell my buddy at
Google that
Google, but he's
later.
at OpenAI now.
That's funny. That's funny, dude. He wasn't working on that anyway.
I know.
So something else that I'm trying to scratch these itches, right? And like finally have like the peopleware bot is finally on 24/7. I found out there's a bug where if I mention its name and then make an edit that includes its name, it starts replying to itself over and over. Like I gotta fix that. It's broken. Okay, but it's up. And so I shut that off for a sec, but like it's up. And I downloaded the latest Slack export, and I'm gonna build a pipeline to have us be able to ask, PWBot, rag this for me. What did we say about blah? And it'll be like, I've searched through everything anyone's ever said, and this is what happened. When I get that
That's
working, I'm
fun.
going to do it for pattern practice.
It won't be able to search through everything everyone's said because of the missing chat history, right? Or can you download that data and give it that data? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I have a
yeah.
I have a
Mm.
like 200 kilobyte 142 no 142,000 messages It's anything that wasn't private.
It's only
And so I've
200
got all of it.
kilobytes.
Huh? It's
It's
just
only
text.
200 kilobytes. Yeah, but I mean that's I don't know.
200
For some
kilobytes
reason,
of
that still
text is a
feels small to
lot.
me.
It's compressed.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a whole lot. Yeah, it's everything we've
Okay.
ever said, minus attachments.
That's incredible.
I
Okay.
know.
That I mean,
I
it's
know.
incredible to me that it's that small. Like that's so easy for something to ingest, right? Like, isn't that pretty freaking small? That's smaller than like images I've dropped into, Grok and been like, tell me what's going on here.
Well,
Dude, the
hell
other
yeah, dude.
day
No, it's gonna be
I was
awesome.
looking at this shit. I was looking at this shit in my sink, and I took a picture of it and I uploaded it to Grok, and I was like, "Is this something I can like clean, or do I need to get this repaired?" And it walked me all the way through it. It was great. It gave me all my options. I just used a
Dude.
picture. Yeah.
Oh man.
I
That's
should
really
have.
funny.
I regretted it after a minute because I was like, I should have fucking took the picture and asked Grok if it saw anything wrong. You know what I mean? Rather than like, because I was like, hey, do you see this problem here? And if so, like, what do I do about it? And then it answered kind of like, even if it
Sycophantic.
didn't, yeah, I don't know what that means, but probably that, where
Oh,
it just,
well, sycophancy is like a yes man.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was basically like, yeah, this is how you handle that issue. But I don't know for a fact that it like looked at it and was like, ah, yeah, that's what you got going on here. I can see clearly. So anyway, next time I'll be a little harder on it. But it was still fun. It was a
The
cool use
ChatGPT
case.
voice mode, you can turn on the camera and it can see what you see. And you can be like, hey, what is this? And it'll be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, fucking something I was gonna
We're
do.
like
So
full on Cortana, dude. We're like just about there hardcore.
so
That's what I was asking you earlier.
so close.
I was listening to All In, and one of the dudes was like, "Man, I walk around now," and it was Friedman, and I feel like he says like I just like walk around now, and I feel like anytime I have like a curiosity, I just start talking to it because like he like has earbuds in and some like subscription, probably just same as yours. I wouldn't be surprised, and he's just talking to. He's like I'm living my life, I'm doing my thing, and I'm just asking questions, but like diving deep, and then like asking questions that like require you to go think and like run some data and read a few articles and ask yourself, it's like go look into this, ask yourself some follow-up questions that seem like they would make sense, then come tell me like what you've figured out, and after a couple moments you get a really engaging response that is like really concise. I think is what's special about it. Like for me to really dig into a problem or a thing I'm curious about, I'd have to do a lot of reading most likely and a lot of sifting through a bunch of shit that wasn't really relevant to try to find the relevant points. But to have something go do all that for me and come back to me with just the distilled, like, here's the fucking answer you're looking for. It's a nuanced question, but here is like the nuanced answer. Man, that's cool.
Yeah,
And to be
it's
able to do that by voice while you're just walking around doing shit, to like have that, it's like the smartest friend you've ever had. It sucks, dude. Do you think we're going to talk to like any people ever again? Because it's going to be able to do everything else, right? It's going to be able to entertain you. It's going to be like, well, tell me a fucking joke. It's going to be
there's
like,
definitely gonna be a slur for people who only talk to the robot.
right?
That the
Okay.
robot will probably come
Right.
up with because we'll it'll
Right.
probably be
Like a
better than whatever I come
neckbeard
up
kind
with.
of slur. It'll be like
Yeah. Yes. Like a
like
slopper.
a ear. Oh, he's just an earwax or something.
No, they're I'm calling it now here. We're gonna call them sloppers.
Sloppers.
Because they just
Because they just live
they
on
just
slop.
lick up the AI slop, dude. Just like just
Yeah.
slop just slopping it up over there. Fucking
Right.
slopper just listen just talking. It saw the movie Her one time and now he's a slopper.
It upsets me. It upsets me so much. I see like an AI generated photo on Facebook, and like you see, like 100,000 comments, and then you see like the top two comments are always one person being like AI slop, and then the second person is like, I don't care if it's AI, it's beautiful anyway. Everyone wants to murder that person, or at least
Slopper.
I do. Yeah,
Slopper,
a
dude.
slopper. Fucking slopper.
That dude's a slopper.
I honestly feel better now that I have a word to call that person.
I'm
That
gonna
isn't
start.
like
I'm gonna try
homicidal.
to start it on Twitter, and when people and when it gets picked up, I will link an episode of me doing this. But oh god, I lost it. Get us back on track. Move us forward.
Well,
I got nothing.
Well, you're self-hosting now was the last thing, and then is there anything else going on in your world? So we have glasses, we have some
Okay, yeah. So
our new OpenAI tool, and now you're
we got glasses,
self-hosting.
We got OpenAI tool, we got half-ass book coming through. I think my plan is to
yes.
my plan with the book is to half-ass it all the way to the end and just get anything out, I think would be fun. And be like, I wrote this book, that'd be fun. It's got enough ideas where it's a complete story. It's not quite what I want yet, but we'll see. We'll see. And then we got self-hosting, going absolutely nuts on that. Going to try to self-host everything, almost everything. And then we got I'm moving. All right, so we're moving, and I've got people pressure washing the house or just head cleaners. We're doing the carpet. It's going to be awesome. And as part of that, do you remember the photo I took of my front room full of shit?
Mm-hmm.
All of that is cleared out now.
All of it?
All of it's cleared out. And I was like, oh man, I'll donate it, right? Like, because how much can you actually get on the marketplace for all that shit? You probably like a couple $100, maybe, if you suffered through it. But people aren't really biting right now anyway, post holiday. And I was like,
right.
ooh, I'll donate it and I'll write it off on my taxes. And Kyle's like, you can't itemize more than the standard deduction off that front room. Like, the standard deduction implies that you should basically not donate to charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to donate it anyway. It's cheaper than moving it. It really is. Probably going to use a pod. And so I was like, oh no, I have to go, load all this shit up onto like a U-Haul and, get it to the donation place, because I didn't think about this in time to have them come get it, because they'll just come pick it up. And I'm like I get the U-Haul, I drive it all the way, back it into my driveway. All right, 20-footer, back it into my driveway. And then I'm like, wife, can you please tell the local internet that I'm loading this truck, and that if they want it, they can have it, so I don't have to load the truck. And like 20 people show up and clean me out. I return the U-Haul.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I know.
That's so cool. Were there any items that you were like surprised somebody took?
There were a couple things that were like, that is a spare part that you have no use for. The rest of it was good. It wasn't garbage. It was stuff we were kind of using. I just meant
like something obscure that you're like, what is that lady gonna do with that statue? Or
you know what? One thing that comes to mind that I loved, I think I shared on the group, was so you know what Red Hat is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I like 2018, I go to Berlin to speak at the OpenStack conference, and I get a Red Hat brand Red Hat hat.
Yeah, fedora.
Yeah. Okay, the fedora. Okay, and so we gave away a pile of hats, right? And I turn around, and this old Spanish woman has donned the fedora. It's on her head, dude. And I'm like, that looks great on you. Okay, she wears it for the rest of the time. We have like a couch. I pull a couch out to the side of the road. They sit on the couch on the side of the road, and she's wearing the fedora. That's where the picture's from. So
she has no idea where that.
She has no idea. There's no way that she is aware of the Red Hat brand Red hat. There's no way she knows.
That's awesome.
There's no way. So I think that was probably my favorite part.
Yeah, that's special. Part. That is special. I'm glad you recounted that, even if I already heard it.
Yes, thank you. Well, you got to capture it, just at least the one time.
Yeah. Man, is there anything? So are you completely cleaned out? Is there anything left that you're trying to get rid of? Like, do I need to make one last trip? What's the deal? What do you got?
So, there's a couple things here.
You still got any of those wire racks? Still got those going on? I think I've talked myself into those. If you still have those,
I not only do I have the wire racks, I still have all the hydroponic stuff.
I have that. You have some silver ones. I think I might just come take them from you, because I could use them in my shed.
They're probably yours. They're probably yours, and then we're gonna see what happens with the patio furniture. Even if I have to get the plastic
things that I gave you trouble about.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. The rest of it's just we're just getting rid of it, and we have we're going to try to fit everything we want into a closet, and then shove the rest of it just into, again, like a half size pod. I'm gonna have less in there. I'm gonna move less than I moved here with.
That's pretty dope.
So
You
that's gonna
think
be
if you,
awesome.
I wonder who would answer. You think if you posted on like Facebook Marketplace or had your wife do it and just said like you have a ton of hydroponics gear, that someone would come pick it up?
Yes, if I was like, this is free, they'd be like, oh,
Yeah. 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 Why don't you do that? I feel like you should.
I
Don't throw it away.
probably will.
Just
I
give them.
probably will.
No
Yeah,
big
I'm
deal.
gonna be like, hi, another round of this. Dude took my foosball table. Oh, you know
I
what?
saw
The
that.
one thing that didn't get taken, ping pong table. This
Really?
Swedish woman, okay, shows up with her kid, and she's like, how many centimeters is it? And I'm like, let me grab my centimeter meter, and we check, and I'm like, did you drive here in a truck? She's like, no. And I'm like, then this is not going to fit in your car. And she was like, but she was so sad. And I'm like, I do have a
What are you
truck.
gonna
And she's
do?
like, no. So we
Brutal.
checked
So
the
you still have that,
centimeters, and
huh?
it wasn't. Yeah, I still have it. It's in the garage.
Man,
Uh,
ping
man.
pong's legit.
But everything else we got totally cleared out. Even the couch was wild.
That's really
what are
cool.
you up to? It's
Glad to
the
hear that.
new year. There's the first pattern practice of the new year. We still have a podcast, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're still doing the thing. Man, what am I up to? I mean, I'm still kind of chunking away at my to-do list for having a new house. Today I called a plumber, so that's going to happen. And this week I need to get an oil change. Which is like I had to find a new mechanic, so now I did that. I have to get an oil change. So I'm kind of like I've got like an elevated level of effort on normal life right
You're
now because
initializing.
yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get back into a groove of some sort. Some things I am getting into a groove with. One thing I thought was interesting, for a while it felt like we were staying, in like an Airbnb. Like it just, it didn't feel like home, right? It felt like a different place. And the first thing that really made it feel like home was actually our first vacation. Like we went camping for a few days, and then coming home it was like, oh my god, home. And you go like my bed, my shower, like all the niceties. And yeah, I guess it was extra helpful that it was camping. But I noticed the same thing. We just went and stayed in downtown Austin because my wife's company had their like annual summit kind of thing, and it just was easier than her commuting for us to go kind of stay there for a few days. And we stayed at a B&B, and again, like had a good time there. It's not like I was suffering, but when I came home, I was like, oh, home, so good, so good, feels so good. And so that's nice. I feel like that's really starting to kind of settle in. And then I started working on the sanctuary in the back, which has been fun. That's been my latest kind of outdoor project. I'm just trying to create. So I've been to a lot of uh, state parks and metro parks and stuff where they've built like these pretty cool bird blinds. And I've also done a little research into people who've done their own private kind of setups at their house. And so I'm trying to do something like that. Like I'm trying to set up a cool kind of, it's the blind is less the important part. It's more like
The
the
blind?
setting that's the important part. Sorry, a bird blind is like you would sit in a blind, you would sit in a little you would disguise yourself so that when the animals come, they don't see you,
They are
and
blind to you.
they're blind to you. Yeah, and so you can. It's like like a deer blind for deer hunters. You would sit in a blind, and the deer comes out, and So in this case, bird blinds are something that are really common at like parks and stuff. It's usually like a bit of a wall with a roof, kind of like a dugout for baseball, like a baseball dugout. This is usually what a bird blind kind of looks like. And you've got sort of like a window across the front. And then what it's looking at is sort of like a little think like like a little playing field, much smaller than a baseball field usually. And there's usually some trees and like a water feature and some feeders. And usually staff will show up and add stuff to the feeders and stuff in the morning. So if you show up at the right time, you usually see a lot of stuff come and show up that you wouldn't see if you just like walked a normal hike through the woods. It's kind of a stage and it attracts a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm trying to do that in my own backyard. And I also have a trail cam back there. And dude, I've only been here like 2 months, and I've seen so much shit already on my trail cam that I thought would take a lot longer for me to have seen. I still have a couple things on my wish list. Like I still have a buck on my wish list, and I still want to see a ringtail, which is like a pretty rare nocturnal animal. But other than that, I've seen raccoons, of course, but I've all like possums and armadillos. Those are all pretty common things. Squirrels all day, every day. But I've seen a coyote. I just saw a bobcat. I was waiting to see a skunk, and I just saw one last night. Like I've seen a deer, but it was a doe, not a buck yet. I've just seen a lot of cool stuff show up. Most of it at night, but some of it, the bobcat came during daylight hours, bro. I could have been sitting right there in my blind and had a bobcat walk right up on me. I could have gotten beautiful, beautiful pictures of a critter that's not easy to find. So
Good property choice then, bud. I mean, hey,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
serious.
Like
Good.
the opportunity is there. Like I have the canvas and I've already begun to kind of lay down the basics. I cleared out a spot in the woods at the back of the property. I got a couple feeders up. I have water, which attracts everything. And and I have the camera, so I see what's coming around and when it's coming around. And I've sat out there a few times and taken some pictures of things that have showed up while I was there. But right now, I'm the blind. Like I'll wear a ghillie suit in my own backyard and just go sit in a camouflage chair with a camera in my lap, and stuff will show up. I have little doves and little birds and stuff walk right up to my feet, and they don't know that I'm there. Like they've walked too close for the camera, so that's fun. And I'm not sure if I want to put a permanent structure out there because those tend to fill up with like spiders or bees or something like that. And so I don't know if I want that. So I'm trying to decide what to do. But that's taken a lot of my like spare time and energy when it comes to projects. I don't have like any digital projects. I have been using OpenAI, I guess is probably my primary one. But what's crazy is I don't pay for it. So I hit like I hit a barrier usually. I'll use it up to whatever it'll limit me to that day because I have plenty of things I want to talk to it about. So I'll try to pick a topic and go for that. And then I'll go to Grok after that because I actually pay for Grok. Like I pay for my Twitter account. And so you'd assume I'd have a lot more, I'd get a lot more out of it. And I think it still responds pretty well to things. I'm not quite yet as happy with the answers that I get from it as I am with ChatGPT. Like I see
Have you tried Claude?
I see the appeal. I haven't. I haven't really.
Dude, Claude is awesome.
Claude
they only
app,
give
right?
you like 6 messages, but they're awesome.
Well, right. I mean, I like to have some engagement and kind of go back and forth. And voice sounds awesome. Does Grok allow? I think Grok does allow you to use voice. I could probably do that. I could try that. At least maybe I can talk to it. I don't know if it talks back. You can check right now. I'm pretty sure it does.
Because I know you can, voice to text or whatever, but I didn't know there was like a.
Well, you can attach things,
okay,
but
yeah, I'm not seeing.
I guess there's
seeing
not
a lot
like
of live
a
voice.
talk
I'm sure
to me
it'll
button.
come out.
There's just
not
the
seeing a lot of that
button.
right now.
So I'd have to record the audio or something.
I gotta say, even the local models are impressive.
I mean, at the very least, it's not really like an easy to use feature. It's not like a baked in feature.
You got to get into a voice system if you're doing creation of any kind or question.
Oh my God, I just stopped being able to hear you. What happened?
Hello?
Oh yeah, there you are.
Okay. Yeah, I felt like you were talking over me earlier. So,
sorry.
I know it's probably my fault. In the last 5 minutes here. So you got to get into some voice mode, even if you pay for it. I was not paying for ChatGPT, and then I was just bestowed pro mode, which is crazy. It's too bad you weren't in the book club. You probably would have gotten it too. You got to come to book club. But the local,
I've missed so much book club in the last month.
We wrapped up the book. It's over.
It's hilarious.
We're wooing next week. This week.
That's incredible. Whatever. I'll be there.
Do we need to move the call?
No. It's literally just been like 3 weeks back to back bad times that didn't even have anything to do with work. So
okay.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm probably gonna have that real soon because like I'm moving to a different state, and so that's That's probably
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
slow me down
yeah.
for a
Well, no,
little
like
bit
for
there.
example, last week we drove back from our Airbnb at around lunchtime on Friday. Like we used our lunch to drive back home about a half hour. And when we got home, I was here for about, an hour or so. I did like a call and I was getting ready to wrap up and I knew book club was coming up. And then we realized that we left our dog's medication on the refrigerator at the top or back at the B&B. So I had to like go back, but then they weren't answering. So we were trying to communicate. It was this whole fucking thing. But yeah, just bad, like unlucky. So no, don't move it. I'll be there. It sucks that I missed it,
Okay.
but
Okay.
at least
Well,
it was a
we
stupid book,
no,
So
we thought the book was
I think
fun.
it went. I think it went well.
We thought the book was fun. My copy's coming in the next couple of days. I mean, I had the
That's
digital
good.
copy, so I could have read it.
Right.
I didn't read a lick of it though. I'm probably going to go through and go back and read some of it because some of the quotes in there definitely spoke to me. He's definitely got that open your mind, like
Oh
kind of
yeah.
attitude,
Oh yeah.
which like I don't need, but I vibe with. Like
Mm-hmm.
my mind's already pretty open. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like if anything, what I need is help not being such a jerk about what's possible. Be a little more
Yeah.
tactful when I talk to people about what they like. Oh, they can and can't do. Like I'm a little mean sometimes. I'm like, the fuck do you mean we can't do that? What are you even saying? Like I don't yell at people, but that's how I'm like. Like what I say is I'm very polite, of course, but I could probably be a little more patient, rather than just hitting them with it. Whatever. Uh, so we're at the end here.
Huh?
You up for posting the video?
Yeah, you can post a video.
Cool. I'm a little self
I'm done with
conscious
that.
because my eyes keep darting to like the time and to like looking around, but I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm not
anything.
worried about that.
Is anything in this background giving you pause? I think it's all just like, you're building a web interface with boxes. Oh, they're called thread. That's not,
Anything in
basic
my
AI. Yeah,
background giving you
this is all fine. This is all fine.
pause? Get it? I got to paw. Got your paw. Got your paw. No, dude, I'm good. I'm cool. I have been thinking I need more. I gotta put pictures
I
lower.
was gonna
I
say
did it.
you
It's
gotta
too high, or I could
completely
stand. Yeah,
you gotta fill the whole wall, dude, with the
yeah, I
best
want to.
of.
I will.
You gotta
I
fill the
definitely
whole
will.
wall.
But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the background, and I don't think I'm too worried about like looking too casual or anything weird like that on camera. I don't really care. Some of my favorite
I
podcasters do
faked needing
really stupid
glasses for
shit.
this so I would look, I'd look better.
I mean, yeah, I have some yellow light glasses I could probably try to look smart with or something. But
I
yeah,
took
dude.
the
No, let's
headphones
do it.
off for maximum, you can get the full facade.
I do want to talk more next time, maybe about about strategy, about like content strategy. Like it has evolved. I think, or like the ecosystem has evolved, and I'm just interested in what kind of might be good. Also, I'm interested in what we can do with your awesome tools to get some help finding some good stuff and posting it for us.
We should play with Sora next
Yeah.
call too.
Okay.
Just let it compile in the background, come up with a thing, compile in the background. There's like a whole storyboard system. You can build movies in it. I haven't because I'm obsessed with different things right now, but I'm gonna we'll do that. That sounds good. I would like to new year, new us, talk about the direction of the pod, probably next round.
Okay.
But hey, kicking
Okay.
on video, that's new. That's forward progress, right?
Mm-hmm. Something I really like is I like when you have kind of a conversation, especially if there's some storytelling. I think storytelling is probably the most important part, and you have like an animation over that storytelling. That's like
Yes.
I'm like telling a story, but then there's kind of there's like there's some pretty good CS:GO podcasters back in the day that did something like that. I just like an
I've seen a
example
few
comes to
people
mind.
animate Rogan a couple times. They're funny.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I've seen
that's
them.
just hilarious. It would be fun to, if a clip, oh, is, if a clip would work, it'd be cool to try it. I'll let you go. That
All
was
right,
fun.
later.
Missed you.